Afternoon for some of you, good evening for some others. Hi, I'm Kirsten Carey, and I am excited today to talk to you about success and what's driving your success. For so many people, especially purpose driven, high powered, get it done women, a lot of times we're actually leveraging self abuse to get to where we are. And we balance out the self abuse, or in our minds, we call it okay because the self abuse has led us to whatever the success is. And so I want to get really clear this morning about what success really looks like when you're not self abusing, and how you can have a better understanding of what self abuse looks like. So for a lot of us, we grew up in situations that were chaotic. We had parents who were hyper controlling, parents that may have been narcissistic. So you really weren't sure at any given time what was going to make them happy or what wasn't going to make them happy. We grew up in situations where you had parents who really reinforced that getting the A or getting the grade or getting the high marks were the most important thing, and you miss the point of the experience, right? So we started really pushing for the goal. And I'm not saying goals are bad. I'm just saying that we got into our head that the goal was the most important thing, and the experience to the goal, the learning experiences, how we got to the goal wasn't supposed to be something that we were paying attention to. So a lot of us became high achievers. A lot of us became very goal oriented, and we started getting energy around meeting the goal. And a lot of us became really successful because of that. Unfortunately, a lot of us are now burned out, or we're burning out, or we're disappointed when we reach the actual goal. So you get to the point where you have the things, right? You've hit the achievements, you have the certifications, you have all the letters after your name, you have the 2.5 kids and the white picket fence and the house and the perfect neighborhood with the perfect things, and you're feeling empty. You're feeling like it wasn't worth it, or you don't understand where to go to next because you've hit all the milestones. You've hit all of the things. So now there's a level of apathy or disappointment or frustration. And for some people, there's burnout and there's depression. Now, burnout is an actual medical diagnosis. It actually has a diagnostic code for insurance companies. When things have hit the diagnostic code level, it means that the conventional medical professionals have seen it as a diagnosis, a way to call what you're going through a thing. And then there's medications that surround those things. There's protocols, there's solutions. But unfortunately, a lot of those solutions just dampen or tamp down what you're experiencing. And what you're experiencing is a sense of loss, a sense of grief, a sense of not knowing where your next motivator is, because you don't have the next level goal. Or you've been using self-abuse to get to the goals that you're reaching. So you're pushing, you're white knuckling through, you're not listening to your body's conversation around this is too much, right? You're drinking caffeine, you're leaning onto coffee, you're leaning onto carbs. Not good carbs. You find yourself eating things that aren't necessarily supporting your body because you don't have the time. You don't have the energy. You're too exhausted at the end of the day to make a meal that you know would support your body. And you're doing things for everyone else because there's actually a defense mechanism. There was a learned experience that happened that you needed to put other people before your own needs and stop listening to your body. We have clients that are professional athletes. I was an athlete as a kid. I know what it's like to push past the point, even celebrate pushing past the point of where your body told you it was too much. Emotionally, mentally, and physically. The Olympics are going on right now. We are watching what's happening with a lot of these athletes. A lot of them are amazing because they push their bodies and their minds into places that the average person was never going to go. But if you follow some of these athletes past the Olympics, past these points, a lot of them are depressed. A lot of them are frustrated. A lot of them don't know what to do next because the major goal of getting to the Olympics is now over. Right? And when you're an athlete or you're someone who's pushed beyond limits, We celebrate that, especially as Americans, we celebrate the pushing beyond, the living life off of 4 hours of sleep, pushing on and taking the caffeine and the supporting things to get ourselves to the goal. And then we reach the goal and our bodies are kind of wrecked. Our emotional states are wrecked. We have not gotten to a place where our central nervous systems know how to find balance again. So we're pushing and we're frustrated and we're angry and we're annoyed because we're not having a life experience that's supporting us. We are pushing that life experience into places that we aren't happy with. So why don't you take a step back and take a deep breath and really think about what's driving your decisions? Are you doing things because you want to make sure the other people in your life are getting a life experience, but then you're putting yourself at the end of the list? Are you doing things that are causing you to push harder, lose sleep, put on weight, not eat properly for yourself, not eat even close to well? Are you grabbing soda? Are you grabbing coffees? Are you kind of pushing through the day just to get through? Do you hear yourself saying things like, if I can just get through this week, if I can just get through this graduation, if I can just get through this wedding, if I can just get through this, fill in the blank. Life isn't supposed to be something that we're just getting through to get to the other side, to get to the next activity, to get to the next thing that we can push through. When was the last time you chose to do something for you? And when I say self-care, it isn't just getting a pedicure or throwing a random massage in here and there or getting to a yoga class once a month. If you're going to a yoga class or getting a massage or you're doing something that is supposed to be self-care oriented, and the second that self-care moment is over, you're snapped right back into that push, push, push mode. Or if you sit down to meditate or do yoga or get to the gym and you are constantly on your phone and you cannot disconnect and allow yourself to just be in the space that you're in, then your central nervous system is in a place where it doesn't feel safe, and you've created that environment. So are you using self-abuse, not getting enough sleep, not drinking enough water, not eating well, not getting to the gym, not getting into movement that is appropriate for you and isn't the type of movement that is pushing? We have clients that use even workout activities as a way to beat themselves up, to abuse their bodies, to push beyond. And that's not going to work for you well either. But we have this belief, we have this evidence, we have this proof and support that that's what got us to where we are now, which is true. But that also got you to where you are now. In a space where your body is pushing back, you may have challenges right now. You may have already been diagnosed with thyroid disorder or adrenal fatigue. Maybe you're gaining weight and don't understand why. Maybe you can't lose weight and don't understand why. Maybe your digestive system is off. You're getting migraines. Your skin is breaking out and you can't understand why. Maybe you're having a ton of food sensitivities. Maybe you're just tired all the freaking time and you don't understand why. It's because all that pushing, all that self-abuse that may have gotten you some of the accolades or some of the success that you're experiencing now is also the balance. It's what you gave up. It's what you sacrificed in order to get to where you are now. So the question is, what are you willing to do now to give your body what it's been asking for, to find that balance with your central nervous system, to put your body in a position where it feels safe and isn't constantly pushing, pushing, pushing just to get to the other side, to get to the next thing? A lot of us learned really early on that self-abuse was appropriate because it was okay, because it got you to the means to the end of the goal. But what your body is telling you, if you have symptoms, if you're having sleeplessness, if you're having hot flashes, if you're having a really hard time with balancing hormones, if you're moving into menopause or perimenopause really difficultly in a situation where it doesn't feel great, that's your body saying, I can't find a way to find balance because you're abusing me in some way. I don't feel safe. And until you learn the steps that it needs to be taken in order for your specific body to learn how to feel safe within your own skin, you're going to continue to experience these symptoms. But the fatigue, autoimmune, thyroid, hormone imbalance, digestive distress, pain in any shape or form is your body's way of saying, I've hit a wall. Stop pushing me. The wall's not moving and you're continuing to crush me. What worked to get you here got you here. But what worked to get you here cannot get you at another experience, at a different level. It's going to continue to push you in a way where whatever you're experiencing right now is just going to be compounded. So celebrate the wins, celebrate what you've gotten, but also recognize that there was a sacrifice in order to receive those things. And I don't want you to use this as now more self-abuse opportunity to beat yourself up for the choices that you made to this point. What I'm saying is you now have the opportunity to choose something different. You have the opportunity to choose a different path. You have an opportunity to learn a different way to reach the next level of goals, which isn't continuing to beat myself up and push. It's to learn a different way, to have a different life experience so that you can celebrate and experience the success that you've had to this point. Maybe celebrate the accolades. Maybe celebrate the things. How many of you have reached experiences, reached goals, and you got there and you're like, I don't even have time to celebrate this experience, this win, this opportunity. And you just moved on to the next thing and you never even had the moment. Or maybe you've got things all around you that are opportunities to be grateful for and you can't even see them because you're in such a state of loss over what you didn't accomplish or how far you haven't come. And that vibration of feeling grief, feeling loss, feeling like you're not enough, feeling like you haven't done enough, feeling like maybe you don't have it in you to do anymore, to reach this other level, whatever it looks like. That's going to keep your body in a state of self-abuse. Your body will constantly look for ways and resources to use to help you get to whatever goal it is. And if the goal is trying not to die today because you've beaten yourself up so much, it will continue to take resources and put it into your body just trying to survive. So the more symptoms you experience, the more resources get pulled away from your body's ability to heal or to up-level and receive another level of healing or another level of an experience. Because if all of your resources are going to just trying to survive today, just trying to get through, and you hear yourself even using those words, I just need to make it through this next thing. I just need to continue on. If I could just get to the end of July, if I can just make it through this wedding, this graduation, this promotion, you start to understand that what you're telling your body is that we're in trouble. We have to keep pushing through. We have to keep experiencing this pain, emotional, mental, and physical. And your central nervous system cannot regulate when you're constantly pushing and there is no downtime, there is no self-regulation, there is no balance. So I want you to look at the choices that you've been making. Just look over the last 6 weeks. What are the choices that you're making? Is it getting up too early, going to bed too late? Is it not making meals for yourself that support your body and its nourishment? Is it grabbing anything you can just to eat in the car on the way to do all of the things? Is it skipping movement, skipping the gym, or going so hard in the gym that you're actually hurting yourself in the long run? Is it constantly being on the go where you're never actually present to this moment? Is it running from doctor to doctor or medication or supplement to supplement, just trying to maintain or to fix something that your body could do on its own if you just gave it a minute to come into this moment right here. Where are you abusing yourself? And where are you abusing yourself in a way that you're so used to it that maybe you don't even see it? So you could do a journal prompt or just do a meditation prompt where you said, I am open to seeing where I may be abusing myself that I wasn't open to seeing before. Where you allow your subconscious to have the opportunity to start looking around at the choices that you make and how you're doing it. We make choices based on patterns that we're used to. And if you're used to continuing to push, you actually might be in fear of letting go of that push, push, push mentality. Because if you're not pushing, then what? What might fall through the cracks? When we're purpose driven, when we're used to reaching goals, when we are used to pushing, 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 when we're used to being high achievers, the idea of pulling back or allowing ourselves to have a minute, if it panics you to put your phone in a position where no one can get to you unless it's an emergency, does that worry you? The idea of putting your phone aside for a half an hour and just not looking at it? Are you constantly looking around to see if something you've missed? People have access to you 24/7. You may want to start rethinking the idea of that. But if you're so used to that that you don't even see that as part of the self-abuse pattern, that in and of itself is a problem. You maybe need somebody from the outside to help you find the opportunities that you have. But even for some of you, you do see it. You see it, but you think, I don't know how to get out of it. I don't know what would happen should I stop doing things this way. Because it puts your body, it puts your subconscious, it puts your paradigm into a sideways kind of position. Because you don't even know how to handle a situation if you're not constantly in charge of it. And the idea that the world can't function unless you are available 24/7 is part of a belief system that is untrue. But you're so familiar with it, you're so used to it. Your body's constantly putting resources to the fact that there might be a fire at any second. You are on high alert all the time. And that high alert state, the body can't sustain that. So it starts breaking down in other ways. So that's the whole concept of burnout. That's the whole concept of teetering on the edge of breaking down systems within the body physically, systems within the body neurologically, systems in the body emotionally, spiritually, energetically. We can only push like that for so long before there's an offset or something breaks. And a lot of you, things have been breaking, but you're not changing the pattern. You're not changing the energy you're putting into it, the resources that are being put into it. So more things are going to continue to break, which is why often you'll see people with thyroid disorder, adrenal dysfunction, autoimmune conditions ending up piling up things because the body's in a breakdown stage. That's why you feel frustrated. That's why you feel angry. That's why you feel like you're not in control. You can't get a handle. You can't understand what's going on. These are all signs that you're continuing to stay on a path that's telling you that you need to get off of it. The whole concept of repeating the same thing over and over, thinking you're going to get a different result, is the very definition of insanity. But if I just try harder, if I just push more, then it'll be fixed. Then I can get out of this. And again, the idea of it's taken you, what you've done to this point is taken you to this moment. Continuing to do those things is either going to keep you in this moment or you're going to start to atrophy or break down further by continuing to work harder at the very things that aren't working for you, but you don't know anything else. So the self-abuse becomes part of the pattern. And without it, who would you be? So I want you to ask yourself that very question. Without the self-abuse, who could I be? And for some of you, that's a scary, scary question because you don't know. or you're too afraid to surface the answer to that question because you're afraid you're going to abuse yourself further for choices that you made to this point. And I want you to all just celebrate the choices you made to this point. But now you have this beautiful, amazing opportunity to do something different. And some of you are thinking, but I don't know what to do different. I don't know what to change. I don't understand why this is happening. It's because you need to reach outside of what you've been looking for answers. And what I can tell you with certainty is that if you could have figured this out by yourself by now, you would have, because you're smart and you're clever and your intelligence and the choices that you've made in the past have gotten you some amazing things. But it's that very nature, that very understanding of who you are, that's going to continue to keep you here until you reach outside of what your norm is, outside to someone else, outside to a process or to tools or to support that isn't you. Some of the smartest, most amazing people that are way high success people have coaches. They have people that they have supporting them to help them see things they couldn't possibly have seen on their own. There is not a high-level athlete out there right now. Look at every single person in the Olympics right now who doesn't have a coach. Some of the highest, most well-known, and some of them you'll never know, financial successes in this country have people that they go to for feedback, for expertise, for support. They're not doing this on their own. They may look like they are, but they have advisors all around them all the time to give them feedback, to give them support, to give them tools and knowledge that they couldn't possibly have done all by themselves. So you are no different. I have my own coaches. My team has their own people as well as me helping support them as well. All of our colleagues have someone that they go to. The ones that are really successful are the ones that are leaning on outside support to get a reflection back in a way they couldn't have gotten to reflect on their own. So again, take a deep breath and ask yourself, am I open to seeing things from a different perspective? I may not like the perspective, but it's different than the perspective I have right now, because the perspective I have right now is giving me the results that I am currently experiencing. And if you are currently experiencing symptoms, frustration, anger, digestive issues, skin problems, weight that you can't figure out how to bust and get rid of, if you're experiencing thyroid disorders, or a breakdown of the systems of your body, mentally, emotionally, and physically, then there is an experience that you are having that you are not getting a reflection back to you in a way that can help you with the tools and the support that you need. So if you were open to that changing, and some of you might not be open or ready for that change quite yet, and that's okay. Just recognize it's available to you when you are ready. But if you are ready and you are open to seeing a different perspective and you want to change the paradigm and you want to change the patterns and you don't want to stay in self-abuse, then I would love to have a conversation with you. Either grab a copy of our book, which is Transformational Healing, which breaks down our entire process, and you can go to nourish123.com/th if you want to go right to Amazon and get a copy of that book for yourself. But if you want to go right to the heart of all of this and you want to have a conversation with me or one of my team members, put yourself on the calendar. We'll have a quick conversation over what's going on for you. Where are you right now? Where do you want to be? And is what we do a bridge to get you there a whole lot faster, a whole lot more easily? Save you time, effort, energy, money, resources, and to get you skyrocketed from where you are now to where you want to be. And if it's not the right process for you, if it's not the right time, we'll have a conversation about that too. My goal is to help you find the solution that you're looking for to get from where you are now to where you want to be, and to break that down in a way that's tangible, that you see the process, you understand what that will get you. So if you want to have a conversation, we'll have a quick conversation about that. You'll fill some things out beforehand so we can hit the ground running in that conversation. Then go to my calendar. You can go to nourish123.com/heal, HEAL. But if you were done with the self-abuse, you were over it, and you want to change the pattern of the experience that got you to the experience that you're having right now, you need an outside reflection for that. And maybe you're thinking, well, I had outside reflections and it didn't help me. A lot of our clients, most of them, have gotten to a point where they've seen other professionals. They've seen experts. They've seen a therapist. They've seen a functional medical professional. They've seen conventional doctors. They went to a hypnotist. They did consult. They did therapy. There is something that was missing in that process for you. There was either a tool or a technique that you needed that wasn't available to you, or you weren't in a space at that point to be able to utilize the tools and the experiences that you were having because there wasn't enough support. There wasn't a comprehensive enough plan. There wasn't enough of a strategy that was unique to you and where you are in your life experience right now. Something didn't connect for you. Something didn't resonate. It wasn't aligned for where you were and where you wanted to go. And I want to get super clear on that information too. Because if we aren't the right solution for you, then I don't want to put you through something that's not going to be a success for you. If you're purpose driven, if you're higher powered as far as like you push, if you're a high achiever, you're also going to be looking for things to give you a result that you're looking for. But we want to get super clear about that too. What's the goal? What do you want? What are you willing to change or shift in order to receive that? Are you open and willing to make a change in a way that changes your current life experience? And I'm going to come at it from all different angles on what you've done, what tests you've taken, what results you've seen. What processes were being used? What tools and techniques and support were you getting? Why didn't it work? Or why didn't it work the way you anticipated it to? So we're going to get super clear on all of that. So where you are now, where you want to be, and is this the bridge to get you there faster, more easily, using fewer resources? So that you can have the life experience well on from here, not just in this moment. But if you are utilizing self-abuse techniques and don't even realize it, you will continue to break down further faster. So what you're experiencing now is just going to compound and get worse if you continue doing the same things you've always done. And if you find yourself slipping and you're making choices that are not supporting you, and you find yourself pushing because it's always worked to this point, then you realize, yes, but it's also gotten me to this point, then put yourself on my calendar. Go to nourish123.com/heal. I would love to see you. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Let's figure out some of this together and see if this is the right time for you to get clarity on what you need to go to the next level and the next goal. All right. You have a good rest of your day, and I